Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Ron Poe from St. Louis, Missouri, and we're going to talk a little bit today about red light wellness and red light equipment. So, for those of you who don't know where this came from or originated, actually, it was with the first LED light, and it was invented in 1962 by Nick Holoyak. Boy, anyway, he did that in 1962, and it wasn't until 1972 that actually George Crawford, actually out of St. Louis, he invented the yellow light. And we had the green light that was invented, and the last one to do was the blue light, which was the hardest one. So in 1980, we started in the suntan industry because a lot of people called upon me. I had a medical electronic background, and they had German beds in at that time that were very complicated, and they had little circuit boards that would fail. So they called me, and I fixed them and repaired them. They couldn't fix them and repair them. I did. And after a while, they'd break again. And I said, well, man, these are really not made well. So that's how I got started in the suntan industry. Was I said, I'm ripping this stuff out and putting good stuff in that's going to work better. And then we took all those beds on the market that were made by the Germans and retrofitted them and resold them. When we ran out of beds, we couldn't buy them. I said, well, I'm going to make a better bed because this stuff isn't made very well. And that's how I started in 1980. And people came and they wanted a different bed, and we just went on, bought my factory, and there it was. 43 years later, we have our big 80,000 square foot facility now in St. Louis. But really, red light industry did not take off until 1995. And outer space used little red LED lights to grow food. And they noticed if they had a little cut on their hand, that it would heal a lot quicker. And that's how it all kind of started. Then people took notice of that. So actually, we were one of the people. We had a lady from Florida come. We had the little tiny LED lights. So we took them and soldered them in our beds that we had, and there was like 54,000 of them. But those little lights were made to save energy and be lightweight. And you would lay in them. There was no infrared or anything, and you'd freeze in there. And maybe it worked on your crow's feet or did something, but it wasn't very much worth the time, and it kind of didn't take off. The industry went to it, but nobody would go because it wasn't any aha moment, right? So then Philips Lighting took notice of this, and Light Source, and they put red light phosphor in fluorescent tubes. And those went in the suntan beds, and there's still a lot of gyms and everything that use that. However, I talked to my friend from St. Louis that went to Light Sources, one of the engineering guys, and I said, Gene, I need you to make me fluorescent red lights that have infrared in it. He goes, there's no way possible you can put infrared in a fluorescent tube. So we said, okay. So at that time, it was replacement of fluorescent lights originally was to save electricity. So you would take a 60-watt light bulb out of your ceiling and replace it with a 30-watt to power it less and save energy on your electric bill. And it was white light. Of course, my friends, yellow lights were put in for ice cream parlors and whatnot. And then they had red lights and different color lights you could get. And then somewhere along the line, we weren't the first ones, but they would take the little 30-watt tubes in the ceiling, red lights, and put them in suntan beds. That's why today you see a lot of the infrared beds on the market that have the long strips of lights. And also they can make those little LEDs with infrared. So that's why it's common. You'll see 2 rows of red, 3 rows of infrared, 2 rows of red too. And you'll see that in the slide right here. Going back to our history a little bit, it shows here our first fluorescent light beds, 2007. There was our first LED bed with the little strips, 2008. And actually in 2009, we thought out of the box. We made the only high pressure red light therapy hybrid bed, and there it is shown at 2009. And we went on to a lot of beds in there, and you can see in 2020, since we kind of did this before, we didn't have to evolve from little, bigger, best. We said, we know where it's going. We went right to the front, biggest, best. Matter of fact, we made it a little too big and a little too best. We had to back it off a little bit. That's why we kind of found out we named it the Goldilocks system. Too hot, too cold, just right. There's a picture of our Dr. Miracle series right here on the slide here. Well, how does red light therapy work? It's the mitochondria that really gets excited about getting the red light and the infrared, and it heals you on a cellular level. They get charged up and they go to work. They bring more oxygen, everything. They heal you on a cellular level. And there's a whole lot of research, just hundreds and hundreds of pages that they're finding out more every day. Here's some of the benefits too. Muscle recovery, brain, everything. But let me tell you about everybody, it's nice to know about everybody else, but when it happens to you, it's totally different. What happened to me is before I wore a ball cap, I always wanted to get hair plugs and I never had the time. So when I'm making the red light bed, that's how I came up with my Miracle Brain and Foot panel, was primarily for my hair. So my hair would lay down like totally flat down on my head. And since I've laid in the bed, it sticks up a little. It's like somebody watered the weeds and it came back in. It's a lot thicker and better. But I'll tell you what, it's great to have your hair back, but what it did for my cognitive thinking, you could tell right away because there's more mitochondria in your brain than anywhere. And that's why people are noticing with all kinds of disease. Parkinson's disease, everything, dementia, just brain fog. So the other thing I want to share with me is I was in a bad auto accident, and you're young, you think it'll heal. Well, it catches up with you, and my back was hurting like about every 3 weeks. I would put me in tears. I'd have to go to the massage place or just do pain pills. So laying on my bed, and actually now I have to go to get a massage. It's been like 16 months where I used to have to go every 3 weeks. No matter what happened, I'd have to leave. Another thing that happened to me to share was, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I had 2 hangnails from where I hit boulders on the beach on my little nails and my toes. And I would have to trim my toenails all the time after a shower because they would hang up on my socks and bed sheets. Well, taking my feet out of Crocs and looking at my toes, I go, wow, look how my toenails grew. I said, well, it must be the red light. And so I thought, well, I better trim them. And I went to trim them. It wasn't after a shower. They were soft and pliable. But when I got down to my 2 little toes, I go, wow, my hangnail is gone. Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's just one of the benefits. So there's a lot of benefits that we can share, and you'll hear a lot of testimonials. And actually, that's kind of what I say too. The real race for equipment in your practice that you want to focus on red light is not the benefits and features of your bed, that's all good. Not how pretty it looks and all the gimmicks. But at the end of the day, the person pays you money. He goes into your room in your clinic and you treat him. He'll know if his hangnails grew together. He'll know if his hair grew. He'll know if he got rid of his brain fog and his back hurt. And he'll know also if he lost like 15 pounds like I did. I'm down to my college wrestling weight. So, and I'm 73, so I feel pretty good. So anyway, here's our bed here, what we call it. Actually, we used to call it the Red Light Wellness 9600. And actually, people were nicknaming it. They go, Ron, where do you have a bed in Jersey? I don't want to go to any bed. I want to go to your bed. We had to drive 45 minutes each way or drive 2 hours. They go, we want to go to the Miracle Bed. So I said, hey, people named it. That's why we didn't name it the Miracle Bed. The customers did. And that's why we have it called the Miracle on there. So here's some of our customers too, and what they say about it, how we've designed it. Here's a customer here.
Yeah, so the youthening aspect, people want to look young and feel young and look good and feel good, all of the above. And this is it is a high end, it's pretty much the highest end of the high end in this light therapy, but super affordable because when you think about, it's not about the price of the unit, it's about how much value you're going to get on a daily basis, how long is it going to last, and how many people can use it, because it's a fully commercialized unit where you could use it every day, all day in a clinic. And it's super easy to run. There's so many pieces of equipment I've tried in the past, from biofeedback machines to Rife machines and on. But this one is like push a button, apply lights, push button, and receive all this wonderful energetic benefit that your body gets to use and consume. You're literally cleansing and nourishing your body because this light is truly nourishing.
Okay, let's look at another testimonial by one of our practitioners here, Jackie Bennett. Let's hear what she has to say.
I'm Jackie. I'm the owner of Eden Wellness, and I purchased the Red Light Wellness bed from Ron Poe 3 weeks ago, and it's done numbers for my business. Literally numbers. My revenue has increased double, and I have sold several $6,000 packages. Those are my best-selling packages currently, is the $6,000 packages. I have clients coming in, they're losing inches and pounds in one session. 8-minute session, lose half a pound. It's amazing. You can't go wrong with it. And Ron and his daughter Sean have been exponential in helping me with the packages and the package deals, putting them together, and just really been supportive in terms of selling the packages and value stacking. Value stacking is the best thing to do inside of these packages so that the clients get more bang for their buck.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the Red Light Wellness Collection. We have 3 different size units to fit your budget, 3 size beds. We have what we call now the Doctor Professional Series, which we even have that with a automatic lift on it, because the bed that we have at Logan College, the people at the Paraquad Center, we noticed that there was a need for that, so we've added that. There's a lot of features that we're adding to, but that's the big size that we have, and that's what we call the Doctor Professional Series. We also call it the Max Miracle. We also have the 7200, which is a very big bed too, and it's very powerful. And then we also have the 5040, and all of our units are available with the Miracle head and foot panel on the end, and they all have the same fingertip controls for the client, where the client controls his body fan, he controls his head panel, his emergency switch. You don't have to get something to where you have to buy something from IKEA and put a fan on it or get out and turn the fan on. It's all built into the bed. We've been doing this 43 years. We've had time to get it right. Some of the benefit and features, of course, since we've been in St. Louis manufacturing 43 years, we're all a FDA registered facility, and we're Class 2 medical device. And after 43 years, it's engineered for easy maintenance, which everybody goes, yeah, I don't care about that. Well, when you need some maintenance, you will. With ours, you need a screwdriver. It's plug and play. I talked to somebody the other day who got a bed out of the country, somebody else's, and they have to wait for the factory to fly over to put it together. Yours, we can have somebody put it together yourself. It's made easy. It just plugs up. You don't need anybody to fly from the factory. Because if you need somebody to fly from the factory to put your stuff together, when the thing breaks, you're going to be like the lady that came to me at the Orlando show and told me that she had brand X units and it broke the second time, and she's been waiting 10 days for the factory to fly out. You don't want that. The other thing is, too, it's a metal construction for heavy-duty commercial use. You might think like, oh, metal. I don't care if it's metal or plastic. Well, actually, you do, because we found out from the industry, the 43-year trail that I went down, 3 to 5 years, the other plastic units, the polymers in the plastic degrade and they boil off. And it's not like you have to have them on a hot stove. Just in regular conditioned room, heat and air conditioning, the polymers will evaporate anyway. All the plastic will get brittle and crack, yellow and break. Actually, that's why a lot of places say, what's your weight limit on the bed? And some people say 300 pounds. And you wonder, why are they talking about the weight limit? Because we pretty much have the same plastic on it, although we have a real nice thick plastic and it's got a lot of acrylic supports. You think they're talking about the plastic. That can all break with somebody putting all their knee on it, 300 pounds, or the palm of their hand. But what people don't know, only a few people know, some of those little Chinese beds with the smaller ones are made inexpensively, and a lady would be laying there totally still with the bed on, and all of a sudden it would just collapse on her. That's why the weight limit. So when you figure that out the first time, you figure why they have a weight limit. You think like, oh yeah, how come you can't have any weight? Because the legs, they put such thin metal in it. If it rocks back and forth in the plastic, it gets brittle and it'll just collapse on you. You don't want that to happen. We also have like 10 to 15 minute treatments that are hands off. It's easy to go in, you set the time, you hit the button, there's a 1 minute undress mode, you can leave the room. Mrs. Smith, you know the drill, go ahead, go in, you can start it early or whatever, there's the control, you're gone. If she comes out early, you don't have to run back to the room like the chicken timer going off, burning the chicken in the microwave like you do with some of the pads and things, and have to be there every minute. So that's a big deal too. The other thing is too, you don't want to have like an iPad and all these fancy controls. You really just want to go in there and like turn the thing on, hit it, and be done. You don't want to go through your iPad and scroll through and say, do I want pulsing? Do I want infrared? Do I want this? I ask people that had that and I say, how many times you cut off any of those? They go, no, we put everything on the whole time and we hit the button to start it. We don't want to deprive the customer. On our controls, though, we do have the ability, if you want to use infrared or red light separate, we even have the different for timing. But usually, like when everybody lays in the bed, they want it all. Also, the bed is going to be more like it frees up your time. You don't need any other staff to do it, which is a big thing, unlike the pads or something that you feel like you got to push over them, like with a stand on it or anything. We also, with our units, we have the only one that we have our patented Miracle Head and Foot panel that's built into the bed, which actually, if you don't have it on and you're not treating your head and your brain, you're like missing half of the ride. Also, I have 2 handles on our bed that if you want to treat your feet, you can flip around the other way. You still have access to the controls in the middle, and you can treat your feet like my friend Paul. That's my bookkeeper that has his feet killing him. And it works good for your feet too for neuropathy. So we also have a lot of factory add-ons that you can talk to us about. We're developing, we don't quite have it finished yet, but we have our frequency sounding bar. We have remote control at the front desk if you want wireless, although I recommend the telephone wire because everybody knows the 5G and everything. It's not like it used to be. It's overloaded. It'll drop out all the time. You don't want your bed going off early, that kind of thing. But we have a lot of extras. We have our grounding bar too. People talk about, oh my gosh, the 5G and the EMF from the fans. We have a grounding bar that we have that'll get rid of all the 5G, EMF, radio waves, telephone waves, everything in your body. And that's really important too. So you also have a big network of our people that are all sharing their ideas on how to make money. And we also, after 43 years of the bed light industry, we have a lot of things that we can help you that no one else does. Our practitioners make more money than anybody else, than I don't know of anybody else that we have, and we can help you with that. So at the end of the day, our bed is the best salesman there is, because if you put it in your room, you don't have to sell it. We don't have to sell you the bed anymore. Your customers are going to come and go, oh my God, it's a miracle. My feet don't hurt. I feel better. I lost weight. It really works. You don't have to sell them on. That's why some of our practitioners have grown organically. And we have one that just bought he had one bed over a year ago. He's buying our 4th bed and he can't wait to get it. Actually, he's turning his phone off because his clients are his word of mouth. So we have more than one that's doing that too. So anyway, the other thing is too, we are the factory. You can actually Google us, look at our factory building. We really make it. We're not lying to you. We have our own CNC machines. We bend the metal, take it off the truck. We weld it, we wire it, we design it. We can tell you every reason why it's made like that. We don't have to say, oh, we have somebody send us the shell and we put it in and everything, and then it comes from China. So also we have the parts in the United States, so we can ship to you right away. And you don't think, oh, that's not that big a deal. Well, then order something right now and see how long it'll take you to get your whatever you need from China or flown in, if you can get it down the road. So, but we are ready to ship, and we are getting a little backed up. So if you need to talk to us about getting something, plan in advance so we can work into the system. Here's some of the things we learned. This is what we call our Goldilocks system. And actually, we went too big at first. We made that porridge, that Goldilocks porridge, it was too hot. So we had to back it off a little bit. Now what we have is just right with distance, light, our patented lens system, and everything else too. You can see that at the top of the slide, the comfort curve. And so what part of our thing is the bottom of the lights and the top of the lights are the same distance from us, which is real important because you can see here at the bottom of the slide, we have the inverse law of light. So basically what this chart's showing is if you have a light source like a pin light, you can imagine, shine it on the palm of your hand, pull it away, and you get a little tiny dot. Pull it out here, it turns into a silver dollar. Well, it's diluted by that much. So when you lay in the beds like shown on our diagram, like brand X number 1 and brand X number 2, when it's way far away, it's spreading it out and diluting it. Plus, there's a thing that's called light and distance. You take a flashlight in the woods, you shine it out, you can't see anything. You got to shine it down at your feet, otherwise it just disappears. Same thing when you have that bed, the lights are way out there. And the chart actually shows here with the light bulb, it'll show close up 100%. When you go out there, actually you'll see 20%, but actually it should say, well, 25%, but it's actually 20%. It's actually less than that because you have light and distance, but we didn't take in reflectance on that. So it's actually less than 20% and less than 9%. So that's when you lay in the other bed. They don't nickname them a miracle bed. That's part of the reason. The other thing you can see on brand X on one bed, a lot of beds have a flat acrylic bottom on it. And it looks real nice, but nobody wants to lay on the flat floor. It's uncomfortable. And actually, it puts a little pressure on your tailbone. If you lay on a flat massage table with a mattress, you get out, you'll notice it curves to your body. So what they did in brand X, and a lot of the beds have that curve is too deep. Then you're like stuck like the pimento in an olive, and your legs are pushed together, your arms are pushed together, you're not getting a treatment. But we've had some serious issues with people who've had that bed where people got stuck in the bed and they can't get out. If people are bigger, they want to lose weight, or they don't feel good, they actually had to kick the door in and get sheets in there to pull the people out. And that's you don't want that either. That's a pitfall to avoid there. But our comfort curve is perfect all the way around. So that's a little bit about some of the things that we've designed in our bed. There's actually 6 pitfalls when you go to purchase red light therapy for your practice. One of them, of course, we talked about is the distance to the light. They're far away, bad results, less power. 2, that we talked again about plastic beds with extreme bent acrylic. Hard for the customer to get in and out. And plus, when you curve the bottom, you're too far away in the top. Your legs and everything's squished together. It's not a good treatment. There's a lot of marketing gimmicks too. Pulsing and calm lights. That the pulsing, actually everybody goes, oh, our lights pulse, they'll get deeper. Well, actually, if you want to look it up, Hamlin, the father of red light, he's the one that first used laser, and he would like shine it on your shoulder where it would hurt. And that's why they wiggled it around, because it was too hot. And what even then it was too hot, so he would turn it off and turn it on, turn it off. So it was on 50% of the time. He didn't pulse it to make it go deeper. He was actually making it weaker. So a lot of people think, oh, if you pulse the red light for laser, it makes it go deeper. Actually, it's not. So it's the wrong way around. You don't want that anyway for epileptic seizures, and you don't want to use the pulsing at all. You can have other side effects of that. So, so there's the cool near infrared too. People are saying, well, we have infrared in our bed. It's the new kind of infrared that we don't need fans and it doesn't get warm. Well, that's like saying we get fire that doesn't burn. I mean, how do you? So actually the mitochondria likes the infrared, and that's what excites it and gets the water, the water in our body to energize the mitochondria. So you want infrared that'll get you warm. You don't want this infrared that's not warm. You can get that at Christmas lights. Buy a bunch of them at Lowe's. They won't get cool either. The touch screens too. The touchscreens are another thing. You got to go in, you got to open it, maybe you got a password, you got to flip through, you got to do this, that, and everything. Then by the time you get the setting, you want to put it all on anyway. But it's a nice selling gimmick, but at the end of the day, in the tanning industry, all the touchscreens after a while they wear out, they got to be replaced, they break down. You got to buy them for $1,000, put them in. Of course, we're built in America. Parts we can ship the next day. You can actually talk to us, the manufacturer. We actually made the bed. We'll tell you a lot of reasons why. Also, another pitfall that more LEDs, a lot of people say, well, they got 54,000 LEDs and there's less in this bed and everything, and they're looking at LEDs. Well, it doesn't need more power. Joules is the energy to measure, not LEDs. And a lot of the times people will kind of chintz on the joules because they'll tell you they have twice as many joules as they do, but it takes 20 minutes to get them. And also, I think if you have to have more power quicker, your light will penetrate deeper. So you have to be careful of that. And time is money, so you do want to be able to deliver your joules in a lesser amount of time. Now, the other thing is, somebody goes, oh, our bed will do it in 8 minutes. Well, then they're cheating the customer. I actually say if we can give them longer time and charge the customer more, because you want to get them benefit. So instead of cutting down 2 minutes or whatever, even if they can do a little bit more time, we want them to get the benefit because they're paying money. But the dress mode and undress mode takes a little time, so don't cheat your customers out of any time. However, our system, we typically do 8, 10, 12, maximum 15 minutes is plenty. So that's an important thing too. The other thing is you want to get equipment that that's hands-off equipment and your staff can run. A lot of people want to get these things on the stand to look everything, and then they got to be over there, got to place it all over the people, tie up their room for a long time, takes a lot of labor. So you want to buy big medical grade equipment that people can't buy little stuff at home. Otherwise, you're just going to turn them onto the idea. And today with the internet, there's so many little things they could buy, wannabe, little whatever they have to put on or treat them. That's why we have the Doctor Professional series. When they come out of that bed, they go, wow, this works. So those are some of your pitfalls that we talked about. And you want to be careful with that stuff. Be careful. So here's a testimonial of a video from another one of our practitioners, Jenny Sepka. Listen to her testimonial.
Hey there, my name is Jenny Sepka, and I own Valley Cryo in Harrisonburg, Virginia. I started with Red Light back in November of 2021. I started using a set of 2 of the Red Light pads. Within a short period of time, realized the benefits that Red Light had to offer, but also realized how labor intensive it was wrapping people up every day in these pads. And then I heard about the whole body bed. I have one in this room, and actually within 6 weeks, so busy with the first bed full that I had to order a second bed. This bed is amazing. I also have whole body cryotherapy here, infrared saunas, compression services. But I gotta say, by far, this is really the miracle of of the shop. It has been really popular. We've been helping people, everything from teenagers with sports injuries to elderly people with arthritis, autoimmune conditions. We have one woman with Lyme disease who has never felt better since using the Red Light as she had in 2 years. Had been to all kinds of specialists, Western medicine, antibiotics, you name it. Ended up here in 16 sessions with the Red Light. She feels 100. I'm trying to think of some other great stories. Injuries, inflammation, people able to not get their steroid injections for their hips because they're pain-free. And just the energy as well. Amazing for the energy. I have another man, his name is Chad. He's using this for his anxiety and depression. It's super wonderful, the neurochemicals that are released during a Red Light session. And of course, the weight loss is a big draw for people. We really try and encourage healthy eating, of course, paired along with, adequate hydration and using the red light bed, but it has really been great for weight loss. You can check out my Valley Cryo Facebook page. We've got some great before and after pictures of weight loss success, and definitely more pictures coming in the future, but feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I love to talk to anybody that wants to know more information about it. All right, thanks. Bye.
Okay, well, that's what Jenny Sepka says, and of course she's very successful, and she even asked people to reach out to her. So what we do when you buy from us, we give you a turnkey system. Actually, you get the bed, we give you a whole body vibration plate, we give you the body composition analyzer, the lymphatic massager, the miracle head and foot panel. We have a clear neck and a head treatment support. You don't want to be laying on a pillow. You want to be able to treat the back of your neck and the back of your head. So we have that. We give you a media kit that we give you. Images and handouts for your customers. We actually help promote you. We do a social media for 3 months. You're also able to join our Red Light Wellness community on Facebook, where people share ideas back and forth, and you can talk to somebody else that has our equipment. We are a group of happy family. We always say when you buy from us, welcome to the Red Light Wellness family. Here's a picture of the Miracle Foot panel, head and foot panel, and there's a quote from Paul Swark. I've suffered for arthritis in my feet for 30 plus years, and he couldn't move his toes. After 15 minutes a day, he came into my office and he was able to move his toes for the first time in 25 years. And he actually did say, kind of funny, he did say it was a miracle, Paul Swark, but actually got rid of his neuropathy too. But the funny thing, he said he wasn't sure if he liked it or not. I said, why not? He says he used to walk on his deck, stepping on acorns in the morning, drinking coffee, not much notice it. But he went to go to the refrigerator one evening, stepped on a Cheerio, and about broke his neck. He said he just wasn't used to it. So when your feet work, you feel them. One of our people that was referred to us, he drove 45 minutes. We found him where our bed was. He was referred out of Atlanta, Georgia. We called him. He went to a doctor 45 minutes each way, and this was after his first session.
Hello, my name is Carl. I am a sufferer of retinitis pigmentosa. To give you a quick explanation what that is, it's a person who over time loses their peripheral vision and you move towards the central vision. Now, MD, you may have heard, macular degeneration is the opposite, where it goes from the central vision outwards to the peripheral. What happens is as you lose, your cones start dying and you start losing your vision, you end up having night vision issues. Your differentiation of colors become very distorted or weak. Is probably the best way of saying it. Distinction of colors is very, very weak. And sometimes even I have been at moments where I swear seeing black and white rather than actual color. Almost like a good example is, I don't know if you've ever seen those colorized black and white films. Sometimes it's like that, where you can tell the colors are fake and everything. But anyway, so I've been watching myself go blind. I was detected with it at 21, and here I am 57 now. And I have lost my vision down to 2 to 3 degrees. So this has been a lifelong struggle, watching myself go blind, literally go blind. I've been I've had emotional downs, depression over it. I even, you cry in the shower, from it. So I figured I got to start doing something and figuring out something different, because the medical establishment is totally unhelpful. Their feelings, well, it's genetic, there's nothing you can do about it. So I started looking into, actually my wife started looking into it. Hi, Tammy.
Hi.
Started looking into the red bed and see if that would make a difference. So I reached out to to a manufacturer of red beds to find me a red bed nearby me so that I could try treatment. Got to do something. Now, I am currently a little over 24 hours from my treatment from yesterday. I waited this long to share some of my experiences to make sure that it was lasting and not just a fleeting moment situation. So, went in. I was practically undressing myself because you got to wear just your underwear as I walked in. You know, almost like a line of clothing. I had to try it. I was excited. I had to do something. So 15 minutes, not the normal 12, but I did a full 15 minutes. I tried with the goggles for about a minute. And I said, this is not working for me because I can't see anything. So
you lay down in the bed.
So I lay down
pull
in bed.
the top over.
Pull the top over. And I decided to close my eyes, take the goggles off, and I can feel and see the red light penetrating my eyelids. So I did that for a few minutes, and then I decided, let me just go full bore. And my eyes were fine, they did not hurt. So did that, and then I was desperately looking for any change in my eyes. So as we're driving home, it was a bad, wet day, so there's a lot of mist in the air. And here in New Jersey, we get a lot of reflection off the sky. The mist is up in the air. You can't see the cars around you, the lines and everything else.
Very gray.
Very gray. And I have not been driving for a few years now because I can't distinguish colors that well. So we're on the road, and I look over, and all of a sudden I see a blue background, white letters, blue background and green background. It's been years since I've been able to distinguish those two colors, and they were very bright and vibrant. So we started going down the parkway, and I desperately looked around for green signs and blue signs, and I was able to identify them over and over and over. So all of a sudden I started realizing, wow, my eyes are changing. Then I also noticed, which anyone who has RP knows about, is these electric worms that go around your eyes, like electrical
Little
lightning,
amoebas or something.
like a nightmare going through your eyes. Now, since I've had this last 24 hours, I had it once or twice, and that was only because I was looking into a very bright light. But other than that, I have not had that issue. I also tend to look like through a white cloud. Now, on my way home, I was able to see, for the first time in years, the white solid line, the white dash line, and the yellow solid line on the road. And I don't mean just like up next to the car. I'm talking about a distance, I would say 100, 150 feet. I was able to see the cars in front of us. Cars throwing up all this mist from the rain that we've been having. And I was able to make out the cars. In some of them, there's a little white car, silvery, probably silvery color car. I was able to make out that it was silvery. So I was amazed with that color. So I come home. My kids are excited because they have not been able to, they're watching me. My whole family's watching me go downhill, especially the last 5-6 months. So, my family loves to play Uno. And I have not been able to play it for probably a solid 2 years now because I can't distinguish blue from the green. So my wife said, well, that's a litmus test. So she got a deck of Uno cards, and the kids and her started giving me cards. So I have a deck of various colors, just a sampling of them, and I'm going to show you that I can identify them because I used to have to put two colors together and maybe I can distinguish them. Right?
Maybe. Usually not.
Usually not. It was that bad for me. So here I go. And this is 24 plus hours later. Okay, ready to?
Yep.
Okay. Yellow, green, red, green, yellow, blue, yellow, green, yellow, blue, red, yellow, red, blue, red. And I did it without hesitation. that was within about 3 hours after the session. And here it is over 24 hours later, and I still can make those distinctions. So this is a long last situation. RP has problems with cones. The cones degrade and die over time, or at least appear to be. This has not improved my peripheral vision as of yet, and I'll keep you posted on that, but it has helped me to discern colors that I have not been able to do for a while, especially blue and green. So I don't know if I should add anything else, love.
Also, the light over in the corner, you could never see it. The floor lamp.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
had
right.
to feel your way.
I've been able to look around the house, and I'm able to distinguish our dogs from the floor. I'm able to see like the lamp when it's off. I can make it out where in the past I couldn't make.
You went right to it and turned it on. Where in the past you were always feeling for
I
it.
had to feel my way through things.
And I bought a brown throw rug for in the living room, and you were able to see that.
Yeah, and what's the color of the floor? It's like a tan.
Yeah.
And I was able to distinguish that, so I don't trip over, because I trip over everything. I bump into everything. I even have a little bit scarred earlier this week. 4 times I bumped myself in the head when I was bending over and hitting things. Now after taking that, not only is my skin soft, but I notice also my scabs are going away very quickly within a few hours. So I'm even seeing benefit there. But mainly the eyes are my concern. And it's exciting. My poor wife was crying. So now we can play Uno together. I'm sure we're going to play tonight, right? Yeah. So something I haven't been able to do for years. And
We have another session Thursday, and we'll see what
Thursday,
happens.
yep, and then Saturday. So
Yes.
hoping to see a significant change with these 3. So
Keep on keeping on.
keep on going. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was another thing. I know the squirrely in the eyes, the lightning, quick improvement with that. Distinguishing. I still have a problem distinguishing, and I've had this for years. This is nothing new. Since I was in my college years, seeing difference between really dark blue and black. Still have that issue. I always hope maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll improve that eyesight as well.
I'm going to see if your peripheral will change at all.
Yeah. I can't say if my peripheral is changing.
Now, where can you see your hand when you hold it out like that?
Oh,
Where do you
well,
start seeing it?
I know my hands lost it right there.
Right
I lost
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. So I can't say the peripheral is improved, but we'll see. But even though I know my hand's right there, because partially I'm holding it up so I can sense where.
Right.
But also I can't see the details.
Okay. But you can see it otherwise. Like yeah.
I can look at your one eye, and I barely see your other eye.
Okay.
So that's what I mean, 2 to 3 degrees. But I'm distinguishing colors a lot better now.
All right. It's a
So,
start. It's a really
It's a
great start.
Really great start. Let me see. Oh wait, I got 2 cards. It's different directions. All right, let's pick one out. Blue.
Yep.
So
That's exciting.
it's exciting. Simple thing like playing a game. I can actually
It's
do.
amazing.
All right, that's about it.
Okay.
We'll keep you posted. Take care.
Well, that's Carl's testimonial after the first visit. Actually, he went on to do 9 testimonials on a Rumble page, and I talked to him at the end of after he did 5 sessions, I believe. The guy that was going blind, he was outside, felt good enough to re-roof and re-shingle his shed out in the yard. And he said his blood pressure, diabetic thing was down. He was off his medicine. He felt great. It gave him a new lease on life. But the interesting thing was he told me personally that he says, now I don't kick my dog anymore. And I said, well, Carl, what do you mean you don't kick your dog? He goes, well, before when I couldn't see and I couldn't see colors, I have a brown hardwood floor. My dog is brown, and I would shuffle around, and I would be kicking my dog. He goes, now I hit the walk around my dog, and now his dog and him love one another again. So, but you can go to his Rumble page and take a look at some of those. So anyway, and now we're going to talk about our partnership. We're actually in a big building, and the Stephen Orthwine Center, Paraquat Center, is down the street, real close to us. So we go back and forth there a lot. And Logan College is in there with Dr. Dana Mercer, the professor, and she's head of the laser safety department, and talks all the students about light. And a lot of people might know her. She also is not only Dana Mercer, but I think her maiden name was Undercuffler, like that. So some of the students know her as Mercer or Undercuffler. But we work real close with her. And actually, she says that our red light therapy bed is the medicine of the future. And they couldn't actually believe how powerful it was. Actually, when they did the math on some of the joules, they were thinking the figures were wrong and the centimeter squares, but were very high. And they said, actually, we are higher than a lot of the lasers. And I said, well, Dana, isn't that maybe a little too dangerous? She goes, no, it's different because you're LED and laser. However, they're very impressed with our equipment, and I can't wait. We'll be able to share our feedback from all the clinical trials that they're doing and everything else, but we're not done with that yet. Anybody can contact us too. We're in St. Louis, Missouri. If somebody wants to fly in and you buy some equipment from us, we'll reimburse you the plane ticket. You can call us on the phone anytime. And you have any questions, call us. We like getting calls. You don't have to make an appointment to have a Zoom meeting or anything like that. So give us a call, and that's pretty much it, I guess. And anybody, I have my cell phone. You can call me, anything you might need. And I appreciate you all listening to me today. And I hope I've helped you a little bit. So thanks a bunch, and thanks for listening to our webinar today.